Flex-a-lite Consolidated has been manufacturing cooling products for over 3 generations here in the United States of America. We make electric fans, belt-driven fans, oil coolers, and radiators. I'm Lisa Chislis, and I'm the president of Flex-a-lite. This is Bill Stock, he's our engineer, and we're here to show you how to do an electric fan installation.
This is our installation of a Toyota Tundra 2000 to 2006 Flex-a-lite model number 775. What we're going to be doing today is removing the factory fan and shroud that comes with the vehicle and replacing it with a modern, up-to-date, more fuel-efficient electric fan. Okay, now that we've released the pressure in the upper radiator hose after the vehicle is cooled, our coolant's cool enough that we can come down and release the petcock, which will allow us to drain enough fluid to get the fluid out of the upper radiator hose. I would suggest removing at least a half gallon of fluid, if not a whole gallon of fluid. Always keep a rag handy just in case any spillage should occur. Once you've determined you've let enough fluid out of the radiator, it's safe to go ahead and close off the petcock. And we're ready to move on with installation.
Okay, so now we've come up to the front of the top of the truck, and we've got a rag here so that I can undo this hose, and I'm going to relocate this hose so I can get the shroud and the stock fan out of the assembly. We've got a bolt right here. It's going to loosen. Now I got this one out, I've got another one on the other side, so I'm going to remove it. Okay, remember we loosened the bottom of the shroud, got it removed. Now we're going to remove the top half. I'm going to be careful on my way out, make sure I don't damage any of those sensitive radiator fins. Make sure I got clearance. Next thing that's going to come out is this fan clutch and fan assembly. There's 4 bolts that are attaching it to the pulley right here. So this is what we're going to loosen to take it off.
If you're looking to maximize the efficiency of your engine, whether it's for additional horsepower or for fuel savings, look at eliminating that clutch fan. You can replace this clutch fan assembly with one of these Flex-a-lite electric fans, and instead of asking the engine to drive this big heavy clutch, I've got the electrical system that's going to operate this unit here. So not only do I have the additional horsepower and fuel savings, but now I get quicker engine warm-up because I don't have a clutch fan cooling an engine that doesn't need it. I also have cooler AC output because the electric fan is going to move airflow at idle than the clutch fan will. In addition to that, I'm extending the life of my water pump.
Alright, now we're ready to drop our electric fan down into the radiator. We're going to start in the center so that we can clear this bracket through the hoses. I highly recommend you grab a friend for this part. Be careful of your radiator fins on these brackets because they can tear through. Okay, I'm good on my side. Alright, I've determined locations for both my positive and negative wires. You can see I've kind of got them all loomed, going through the back side of the washer fluid here, back side of the battery. The positive is getting butt connected to the fuse holder right here, and then the fuse holder is connected to the positive side of my battery. The negative wire, I've actually found a ground location right here on the side of the frame, and I'm using the stock bolt that came with the truck. Alright, I've installed the thermistor into the radiator fins. Be sure to be very careful of not tearing into your core when you install this. I've selected a location close to the inlet on the radiator, and because I'm not going to use this cap, I've got a condenser in the way over here. So I've pushed this far enough through so it's not going to back itself out. Secured the wiring all along the loom here, and then attached it to terminals 10 and 11. Alright, now that we got everything wired up, our final steps are to make sure we got it all secured down nice and tight. So you can see how we've used the zip ties, put the wires together, and then we're using the wire loom that's included in the kit bag and attached it to the nutserts on the top of the shroud to make sure I've got it all secured so that these connections aren't going to come loose at a later date.
Okay, what we want to do next is we want to wire the ignition sensor wire into a fuse that turns on with the ignition switch. What we've done is we've located radio number 2, which is in the lower panel under the dash here, and we've tapped a wire into the 7.5 radio number 2. What this is allowing us to do is trigger the variable speed control to activate when the ignition switch key is turned on. As you can see here, we routed the ignition switch wire through the rubber gasket in the firewall of the vehicle, right against the main wire harness up top. It drops right down into the fuse box. As you can see, after the install of the electric fan, we've reduced the engine noise compartment considerably at idle. As you can see, at 1500 RPMs, with the electric fan now in the off position, we have a significant drop in decibels as well.
Alright, if by chance you do have some trouble with your installation, there's some troubleshooting guides that are included with the installation instructions. Or we do have an English-speaking technical customer service department for you at 800-851-1510.